Mufti Muhammad Saeed sworn in as Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Mufti Muhammad Saeed on the 1st of March 2015 was sworn in as Chief Minister of People's Democratic Party Bharatiya Janata Party BJP coalition government of Jammu and Kashmir. As a person he became 9th Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and 12th Chief Minister as tenure-wise. Arun Singh named as new Indian ambassador to US. Senior IFS officer, Arun Singh has been named as new Indian ambassador to US. Prior to this announcement he was serving as India's ambassador of France. Arun Singh will replace S. Shankar, who was appointed as Foreign Secretary. China kicks off Silk Road infrastructure project worth $79.8 billion in Gansu. China has launched a massive Silk Road infrastructure project worth $79.8 billion in the northwest province of Gansu as part of its ambitious Silk Road plan. This project will facilitate trade and people exchanges between China and Central Asian countries. Key facts: it will be 6-year Silk Road development project. On its completion it is going to add more than 60,000 kilometers of road network including 4,070 kilometers expressways, thus improving the connectivity of the existing transportation network. This project will also build 12 civilian airports in the next 6 years, thus expanding the air service reach to 82% of the province's population. Gansu province does not share its borders with any Central Asian countries, but it will be an important part of the Silk Road economic belt. About Silk Road projects: the Silk Road projects are part of China's ambitious Silk Road plan, which involves maze of roads and ports connecting Asia, Europe and Africa. These projects aims to revive China's trade links, especially its declining exports, besides globally enhancing its sphere of influence. Oxford Dictionary adds words rideshare, unboxing, bioprinting and wishing related to technology. Recently Oxford Dictionary has added words rideshare, unboxing, bioprinting and wishing related to technology in the new list. Oxford Dictionary defined these words as rideshare to participate in an arrangement in which a passenger travels in a private vehicle driven by its owner, for free or for a fee, especially as arranged by means of a website or app. Bioprinting: the use of 3D printing technology with materials that incorporate viable living cells, for example to produce tissue for reconstructive surgery. Unboxing: an act or instance of removing a newly purchased product from its packaging and examining its features, typically when filmed and shared on a social media site. Wishing: it is like phishing, but using phone calls or voice messages instead of emails to trick people in revealing sensitive information. Lok Sabha passes Citizenship Amendment Bill. The Lok Sabha on the 2nd of March 2015 passed the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2015 by voice vote. This bill will replace an ordinance promulgated in this regard and amend the Citizenship Act 1955. Key provisions of the bill: it merges persons of Indian origin, PIO, and overseas citizen of India, OC, cardholders in cases related to citizenship by registration and naturalization. This amendment bill relaxes the requirement of 12 months. In this case, 30 days break will be provided if the central government is satisfied in special circumstances with a written record. On additional grounds, person may register for overseas citizenship card, OCC, such as minor children whose parent or parents are Indian citizens, spouse of an Indian citizen or OC/PIO cardholder subjected to certain conditions. Person who is a citizen of another country, meets one of several conditions of Citizenship Act 1955, then his great-grandchild may register. It also gives powers to central government to terminate OCC obtained by the spouse of an Indian citizen or OC/PIO cardholder in case the court dissolves the marriage or even after the first marriage has not been dissolved, the spouse enters into another marriage. World's first electric satellites successfully lifted off by SpaceX rocket. World's first electric satellites were successfully lifted off by a space exploration, SpaceX, Technologies rocket from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, United States. The rocket was carrying 2 all-electric commercial satellites built by Boeing. The satellites are owned by the French satellite provider Eutelsat and Asia Broadcast Satellite, ABS. Eutelsat satellite is part of its 35-member commercial network. It will provide services like mobile, internet, video and other communications services to expand its reach into the Americas. While ABS News Satellite will serve its customers in Africa, Europe and the Middle East. Jagmohan Tamia elected as president of BCCI. Jagmohan Tamia was unanimously elected as president of the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI. He was elected as president at the BCCI annual general meeting held at Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Namibian President Hifikepunye Pohamba wins Mo Ibrahim Prize for African Leadership. Hifikepunye Pohamba, outgoing Namibian president, has won the world's most valuable individual award Mo Ibrahim Prize for African Leadership for year 2014. Union government and RBI sign agreement to keep inflation below 6%. Union government and the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, have signed an agreement on monetary policy framework in order to move towards the RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan's view of inflation targeting. Presently, Union government and RBI give inflation estimates and do not set targets. But as per this agreement, government has set a target for RBI to bring down inflation below. President gives assent to Maharashtra Animal Preservation Amendment Bill, 1995. Recently, President Pranab Mukherjee gave his assent to the Maharashtra Animal Preservation Amendment Bill, 1995. It received assent nearly after 19 years it was passed by State Assembly in 1995. Key facts: this bill amends Maharashtra Animal Preservation Act 1976 and bans slaughter of bulls and bullocks in the state. As per the provisions of new act, anyone found to be selling beef or in possession of it can be jailed for 5 years and fined as 10,000. However, this act allows slaughter of water buffaloes, which provides caribou beef that is generally considered as an inferior quality meat. RBI adopted inflation targeting as a policy tool for monetary regulation. Inflation targeting was in news recently as Union Government and Reserve Bank of India on the 20th of February 2015 signed an agreement on monetary policy framework. As per the agreement, RBI accepted to focus on flexible inflation targeting. Inflation targeting is defined as an economic policy in which a central bank estimates or decides for a medium-term target inflation rate. Shanghvi is richest Indian. Forbes. Dilip Shanghvi of Sun Pharmaceuticals, with a net worth of $21.5 billion, surpassed Mukesh Ambani as the world's richest Indian on Wednesday, 2 days after the Reliance Industries Limited chief was ranked India's wealthiest for the 8th consecutive year. 3 South Asian women selected for International Women of Courage Award. 3 South Asian women, namely Niloofar Rahmani, Nadia Shamin and Tabassum Adnan on the 3rd of March 2015 were selected for the prestigious International Women of Courage Award for the year 2015 given by the U.S. Secretary of State. They were among the 10 extraordinary women selected from 10 countries for the award for demonstrating exceptional courage and leadership in advocating for peace, justice, human rights and gender equality. Aapki Beti Hamari Beti scheme launched in Haryana. Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar on Sunday launched a scheme for girl child, Aapki Beti Hamari Beti, with an aim to combat the problem of declining child sex ratio in the state. Aapki Beti Hamari Beti will be implemented in both rural and urban areas of the state, covering firstborn girl child of scheduled caste, SC, and below poverty line, BPL, families and all second girl child born on or after January 22, 2015 of all. Kumar Sangakkara announces retirement from Test cricket. Former Sri Lankan cricket captain and ace batsman Kumar Sangakkara announced that he will retire from Test cricket after playing 3-match series against India in August 2015. Jharkhand CM announces Rs 1 lakh for alcohol-free villages. The Jharkhand government will grant Rs 1 lakh to villages which will become alcohol-free. Chief Minister Raghubar Das said those villages becoming alcohol-free would be given the grant and women groups would take the initiative. Chief Minister proposed to open 57 more Kasturba Gandhi girls' schools in the state. Pakistan conducts successful test launch of Shaheen-3 missile. Pakistan conducted a successful test launch of the Shaheen-3 surface-to-surface ballistic missile. The missile is capable of carrying nuclear and conventional warheads to a range of 2,750 kilometers. Lick to invest Rs 1.5 crore in Indian Railways over next 5 years. State-run insurance major Lick committed Rs 1.5 lakh crore to the Indian Railways for development of various commercially viable projects. The investment would be done in bonds issued by various railway entities such Indian Railways Finance Corporation. Beginning next fiscal, Indian Railways are one of the largest railway networks in the world. Obama names David Hale as ambassador to PAC. U.S. President Barack Obama has nominated veteran diplomat David Hale as the next ambassador to Pakistan. Mr. Hale previously served as the Special Envoy for Middle East Peace from 2011 to 2013, and as Deputy Special Envoy for Middle East Peace from 2009 to 2000. Gadkari launches portal to help source cement for concrete roads. In line with the plan to construct cement concrete highways, instead of bitumen ones, Union Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari on Tuesday launched a web portal, www.inimpro.nic.in. INAMPRO, which stands for Platform for Infrastructure and Materials Providers, will monitor the supply of cement and hasten the process of orders by prospective users and agencies with the respective cement manufacturers. India, Mauritius to work to avoid abuse of TAT. India and Mauritius will work together to avoid the abuse of Double Taxation Avoidance Convention. The two countries agreed to push negotiations for a long-pending revision of the treaty. Modi is on a 2-day visit to the island nation of Mauritius, addressed the National Assembly of Mauritius. Government asks PSU banks increase lending to minorities. The Union government has advised PSU banks to step up lending to minorities with a view to ensuring that they get loans in proportion to their population. It was decided to increase the percentage share of lending to each minority community in proportion to their respective share in minority population. 3,168 crore rupees for compensation in new capital of Andhra Pradesh. The Andhra Pradesh budget for 2015-16 has set aside rupees 3,168 crore towards the compensation for taking the consent of farmers to part with their land for the new capital project. As per the plan, 50% of the total land is to be used for common infrastructure for the capital city. About 25% of the land is to be returned to the landowners in the form of developed reconstituted plots. This would leave about 7,000 acres with the state for constructing the capital complex as well as bringing investments to provide sustainable jobs for the residents of the capital city. Modi's visit to Sri Lanka. India and Sri Lanka on Friday signed 4 bilateral pacts. Agreement on Visa, Customs, Youth Development and Building Rabindranath Tagore Memorial. During Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first tour to the island country, India stands ready to help Trincomalee become a petroleum hub and announced that New Delhi will provide a fresh line of credit of up to $318 million for the railways sector in Lanka. The Prime Minister will visit the peninsular area of Jaffna, home to the island's Tamil minority and which bore the brunt of a 37-year separatist war in which India was intricately involved. Rajiv Gandhi was the last Prime Minister to visit Sri Lanka in 1987. Electric power transmitted wirelessly in Japan. In a breakthrough, Japanese researchers have successfully transmitted electric power wirelessly to a pinpoint target using microwaves, an advance that brings space-based solar power closer to reality. According to Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, the researchers were able to transform 1.8 kilowatts of electric power into microwaves and transmit it with accuracy into a receiver located 55 meters away. In space-based solar power generation, sunlight is gathered in geostationary orbit and transmitted to a receiver on Earth. If implemented, microwave transmitting solar satellites would be set up approximately 35,000 kilometers from Earth. Can India gets ours? 20,495 crore tax notice. The Income Tax Department has slapped to Rs 20,495 crore tax demand on Cairn India for failing to deduct withholding tax on alleged capital gains made by its erstwhile promoter, Cairn Energy. IT department had slapped to Rs. 10,247 crore tax demand on Cairn Energy for an alleged Rs. 24,500 crore worth capital gains it made in 2006 while transferring all its India assets to a new company, Cairn India. Karnataka clinch 8th Ranji Trophy title. Karnataka scored resounding victory, by an innings and 217 runs, over Tamil Nadu to retain the Ranji Trophy. KL Rahul, Kiran Nair and R. Vinay showed their batting prowess and Karnataka made a statement that it was the best team in 2 years, undefeated in the last 28 matches. Wipro appoints Abid Neemachwala as COO. India's third largest IT services exporter Wipro Limited announced the appointment of former TCS top executive Mr. Abid Ali Neemachwala as the group president and chief operating officer of the company. Facebook acquires the Find e-commerce search engine. Facebook has acquired the Find, a 9-year-old company with a search engine that indexes products across thousands of e-commerce sites. That probably means the ads Facebook users see will be more relevant to products they've been browsing and buying online, perhaps highlighting local retailers. One of the Find's features is that it attempts to mix online and local stores and says its results are based on your social profile. IMF supports tight stance of Reserve Bank. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, Chief Christine Lagarde has supported the tight monetary stance of the Reserve Bank of India and says 5% inflation in the country was still high. Lagarde is on a 2-day India visit that began from today. Services win 4th Santosh Trophy title. Services lifted the Santosh Trophy after edging out hosts Punjab 5-4 via tiebreaker in a nail-biting summit clash at Guru Nanak Stadium in Ludhiana. During the tiebreaker, all the 5 players including captain Anthony, Vibhan, Francis Zonantanga, Aaron Tudu and Rakesh Singh scored goal for the winners. Services have won the title for the 4th time besides finishing runners-up on 5 occasions. Srikanth wins Swiss Grand Prix Gold Championship. Young Indian shuttler K. Srikanth clinched the Swiss Grand Prix Gold Championship title after overcoming a strong challenge from Victor Axelsen in a hard-fought men's singles final. World No. 4 Srikanth showed nerves of steel to prevail over his Danish opponent, ranked 6th in the world, 21-15, 12-21, 21-14 in the thrilling summit clash of the $120,000 event. Snapdeal buys stake in logistics firm Gojavas. Online marketplace major Snapdeal today picked up minority stake in logistics firm Gojavas as it looks to further strengthen its delivery operations in the country. Snapdeal co-founder Rohit Bansal said this is the first ever investment by Snapdeal in the logistics segment and that the company is looking to invest $150-200 million in logistics this year. Hitachi India, Siemens sign MoU with SIF for smart cities. Hitachi India Limited and Siemens Limited on Tuesday signed an MoU with the Confederation of Indian Industry, SIF, to form a consortium that would create pilots and replicate them throughout the country for setting up 100 smart cities. The MoU aims to establish a national mission for such cities as a platform comprising industry leaders and experts and provide policy advocacy and thought leadership to government and other stakeholders. It would also manage a knowledge repository to provide inputs to the Ministry of Urban Development on best practices. HDFC Bank launches instant money transfer app. HDFC Bank has launched Chil, a mobile app that allows users to instantly transfer money to any contact in their phone book 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. HDFC Bank has partnered with MobMe, a Kochi-based technology firm, to launch this app. India, Kyrgyzstan ink MoU for cooperation on textile, clothing. India and Kyrgyzstan signed MoU to strengthen bilateral cooperation on textile and clothing. The MoU was signed by Minister of State, MoS, for Textiles Santosh Kumar Gangwar and his counterpart Minister of Energy and Industry of Kyrgyzstan Kubanich Bekturdubev in New Delhi. The MoU seeks to strengthen bilateral cooperation between both nations in the 3 fields including textiles and clothing, silk and sericulture and fashion. WIF names Smriti Irani as Young Global Leader from India. Union HRD Minister Smriti Irani was today named Young Global Leader from India by the World Economic Forum, WEF. Others who have been named Young Global Leader, YGL, in the past include British Prime Minister David Cameron, Alibaba Group Chief Jack Ma, Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer, Google Chief Larry Page, Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi. Nation observes Martyrs' Day. March 23 is marked as the Martyrs' Day to honor the sacrifice of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev, who were hanged to death on this very day in 1931. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after his arrival in Amritsar, headed straight for Hossainawala by a helicopter, where he paid his respects to freedom fighters Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev. It was in Hossainawala that the three martyrs were unceremoniously cremated by the British after their hanging in Lahore on March 23, 1931. World Water Day 2015 observed with the theme Water and Sustainable Development. World Water Day 2015 was globally observed on the 22nd of March 2015 with the theme Water and Sustainable Development. The theme for the World Water Day 2015 talks about how water links to all areas we need to consider creating the future we want. World Water Day is celebrated every year to make a difference for the members of the global population who suffer from water-related issues. It's a day to prepare for how we manage water in the future. Facts about the water crisis. Roughly 75% of all industrial water withdrawals are used for energy production. There are 658 million people living without access to water in Africa. By 2035, the global energy demand is projected to grow by more than one-third. Diarrhea caused by inadequate drinking water, sanitation and hand hygiene kills an estimated 842,000 people every year globally, which is 2,300 people per day. Singapore founding father Lee Kuan Yew dead. Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's first Prime Minister and architect of the tiny Southeast Asian city-state's rapid rise from British tropical outpost to global trade and financial centre, rested in peace. He was aged 91. Mr. Lee co-founded the People's Action Party, PAP, which has ruled Singapore since 1959 and led the newly born country when it was separated from Malaysia in 1965. Rajendra Singh, named as the 2015 Stockholm Water Prize laureate. The Waterman of India Rajendra Singh was named as the 2015 Stockholm Water Prize laureate. He was acknowledged for his innovative water restoration efforts, improving water security in rural India, and for showing extraordinary courage and determination in his quest to improve the living conditions for those most in need. India becomes third biggest steel producer, overtakes US. India has become the third largest steel producer in the world by overtaking United States, US, in first 2 months of year 2015. It was revealed in the data compiled by World Steel Association, WSA. India's production in first 2 months, that is January-February of 2015, was 14.56 million tons. China tops in steel production and accounts for nearly half of the global steel production. During this period, China has produced 65 Mount steel. Japan is the second largest steel producer and has reported a total production of 17.4 Mount. Indian Wells Tennis Championship. Simona Halep beat Jelena Jankovic 2-6-7-5-6-4 in an enthralling BNP Paribas Open final at Indian Wells. Section 66 of IT Act unconstitutional, Supreme Court rules. The Supreme Court struck down Section 66 of the Information and Technology Act, which allows police to arrest people for posting offensive content on the internet. The bench said the public's right to know is directly affected by Section 66 and the section clearly affects the right to freedom of speech and expression enshrined under the Constitution of India. A bench of Justices J. Chilameswar and R.F. Nariman had on the 26th of February reserved its judgment on one of the most controversial issues regarding the freedom of expression that the court has had to deal with in recent times. The government said it did not want to curtail the freedom of speech and expression but contended that the cyberspace could not be allowed to remain unregulated. Shashi Kapoor gets Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Charming Shashi Kapoor, whose nuanced acts in memorable films like Diwa, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Trishul and Kabhi Kabhi captivated Hindi film buffs, will be conferred the Dada Saheb Phalke Award for 2014. India to grow at 7.8% in 2015-16, ADB. The Asian Development Bank projected India's growth rate to surpass China and improve to 7.8% in next fiscal and further to 8.2% in 2016-17. The Asian Development Outlook, an annual publication of the ADB, said, India's growth and investor confidence will improve on the back of government's structural reform agenda and improved external demand. It forecasts that India's growth will improve from 7.4% in current fiscal to 7.8% in 2015-16 and further to 8.2% in 2016-17. 62nd National Film Awards 2014-15 announced. The awards will be given by President Pranab Mukherjee on 3rd of May in New Delhi. The awardees are: Category winner, Best Actress Anchari Vijay, Best Actress Kangana Ranaut, Best Director Surajit Mukherjee, Entertainment Film Mary Kam, Environment Film Motal, Music Director Vishal Bhardwaj, Singer, Male, Sukhvinder Singh, Singer, Female, Uttara Unnikrishnan. Mangalyaan mission extended by 6 months. The Indian Space Research Organization's ISRO Mars orbiter mission was extended for another 6 months to further explore the red planet and its atmosphere. As the 1,340 kg Mars orbiter has sufficient fuel, 37 kg, to last longer than it was intended earlier. The historic mission has completed 6 months of orbiting the red planet. India also became the first country to have entered the Mars sphere of influence in its maiden attempt. Vikas swore to be new spokesperson of External Affairs Ministry. Senior Indian Foreign Service (IFS) officer and noted novelist Vikas Swarup of Slumdog Millionaire fame will be the new spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs. The Hollywood movie Slumdog Millionaire, which won 8 Oscars, was based on Mr. Swarup's successful debut novel Q&A. The third edition of the summit is scheduled to take place in India on October 29. Web Ratner Awards to Honorary Governance Initiatives. National Informatics Centre, NIC, under the IMBIT of India portal, http://india.gov.in, organized the third edition of Web Ratner Awards for innovative use of technology. MKISN Government of India portal for farmer-centric services won the Platinum Award. In the citizen-centric service category, Platinum Award was bagged by Passport Shiva Project. Indian-American author Akhil Sharma won the Folio Prize 2015 for novel Family Life. He was presented with the winner trophy by Jean Marquardt of the Folio Society and a cheque of £40,000 at the awards ceremony held in London. His novel Family Life was one among the 8 books shortlisted from 80 works of fiction and was chosen as the best fiction published in the UK in 2014 by the 235 writers and critics who constitute the Folio Academy. Dolly Shivani Chakuri became the youngest archer to enter India Book of Records. 3-year-old archer Dolly Shivani Chakuri of Andhra Pradesh on the 24th of March 2015 entered the India Book of Records. She entered the list of records by scoring 388 points in the recurve segment in 2 distances, 7 and 5 meters, at the Volga Archery Academy in Vijayawada. At the time of entering the India Book of Records, she was 9 days less than 3 years. She shot 36 arrows each from 5 meters and 7 meters to score 388 points in presence of judges from the India Book of Records and the Archery Association of India, AAI. Book titled Food for All, written by Malal. The book will be published by Oxford University Press. The book surveys the food and agricultural development assistance delivered by 5 major international organizations since their establishment to gauge their relevance, effectiveness, and impacts in a dramatically changed world. The 5 organizations surveyed by the book are the World Bank Group, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Food Programme, International Fund for Agricultural Development and Consultative Group for International Agricultural Research. CNN-IBN announced Indian of the Year Award 2014. CNN-IBN announced the Indian of the Year Award 2014 on the 18th of March 2015. The award recognizes the remarkable achievements and contributions of Indians who worked tirelessly towards strengthening India's foundation in 2014. The CNN-IBN Indian of the Year Award is presented annually to various Indians for their work in their respective fields. The awards are presented in various categories of politics, sports, business, entertainment, public service and global. Indian list of the winners of CNN-IBN Award 2014. Narendra Modi, Indian of the Year 2014. Arun Jaitley, Indian of the Year 2014. Politics. Jitu Rai, Indian of the Year 2014. Sports. N. Chandrasekaran, Indian of the Year 2014. Business. Chan Bhagat, Indian of the Year 2014. Entertainment. Tongam Reena, Indian of the Year 2014. Public service. Satyani Della, Indian of the Year 2014. Global. Indian. K. Chandrasekhar Rao, Indian of the Year 2014. Popular choice. P. Vijayan, Indian of the Year 2014. Popular choice. Kangana Ranaut, Indian of the Year 2014. Special achievement. Pankaj Advani, Indian of the Year 2014. Special achievement. K. Ailash Saiyate, Indian of the Year 2014. Outstanding achievement. Azim Premji, Indian of the Year 2014. Outstanding achievement. The Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, Indian of the Year 2014. Lifetime achievement. International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and Transatlantic Slave Trade observed, 25 March. International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade 2015 was observed globally on the 25th of March 2015. The theme for the year 2015 is Women and Slavery. The theme is a tribute to the many women who suffered and died during the slave trade. On this occasion, the United Nations, UN, unveiled a permanent memorial for victims of transatlantic trade, named as Ark of Return, at the UN headquarters in New York. The memorial reminds not only the gross injustice done to African slaves but also the successful journey of the UN in restoring their dignity by actively condemning the practice. Nobel laureate John Nash won Abel Prize 2015 for work on partial differential equations. Nobel laureate John F. Nash Jr. won the Abel Prize 2015 for his work on partial differential equations. The prize was announced on the 25th of March 2015 by the Norwegian Academy of Sciences and Letters. They will receive the Abel Prize from His Majesty King Harald at a ceremony in Oslo on the 19th of May 2015. He will share the prize with Louis Nirenberg, Professor Emeritus at New York University's Quran Institute of Mathematical Sciences. They both will share the prize money of $760,000. Delhi government launches India's first e-ration card service. Delhi government has launched first e-ration card service in India. It was launched Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on the 27th of March 2015. In this service, e-ration card will be linked with Aadhaar cards in order to curb corruption and increase transparency in the system. First goods train from Lumding to Silchar in Assam flagged off. First goods train from Lumding to Silchar in the northeastern state of Assam was flagged off by the Union Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu through video conferencing at a function in New Delhi. Key facts. The train was launched on 210 km Lumding-Silchar section rail line after the gauge conversion was completed at a cost of 3,500 crore rupees. This line will provide connectivity to Barak Valley of Assam with the rest of the country. 210 km rail line consists of 28 stations, 4 halt stations, 79 major bridges and 340 minor bridges and 21 tunnels. Narendra Modi launches Pragati platform for redressal of grievances. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 25th of March 2015 launched Proactive Governance and Timely Implementation, Pragati, platform. Pragati is a multi-purpose and multimodal platform aimed at addressing grievances of common man. It also aims at simultaneously monitoring and reviewing important union government programs and projects as well as projects flagged by state governments. Vice Admiral Sunil Lanba took over as Commanding-in-Chief of Southern Naval Command. Vice Admiral Sunil Lanba on the 30th of March 2015 took over charge as the Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief of Southern Naval Command. He took the charge from Vice Admiral S.P.S. Chima at a ceremonial parade held at the naval base in Kochi. Balbir Singh Senior conferred with Major Dhyan Chand Lifetime Achievement Award of Hockey India. Hockey India on the 28th of March 2015 conferred Major Dhyan Chand Lifetime Achievement Award on legendary Balbir Singh Senior. As an award, he received a trophy and a cash prize of 30 lakh rupees. Katsushi Eno appointed as President and CEO of Honda Cars India Limited. Katsushi Eno on the 30th of March 2015 was appointed as President and Chief Executive Officer, CEO, of Honda Cars India Limited, SIL. He will assume charge on the 1st of April 2015 and succeed Hiraniraj Kanyamu, who is due to retire. Eno was associated with Honda Motors CO for past 29 years. Madan Mohan Malaviya posthumously awarded Bharat Ratna. Freedom fighter and educationist, Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya on the 30th of March 2015 was conferred the highest civilian award of the country, Bharat Ratna, posthumous. His family members received the award from President Pranab Mukherjee at a function in the Ashoka Hall of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Aditi area crowned FBB Feminimiss World 2015. Aditi area was declared FBB Feminimiss India World 2015 at a star-studded event at the Yash Raj Studios. Afreen Rachel Vaz walked away with the FBB Feminimiss India 2015 first runner-up crown, while Vartika Singh was FBB Feminimiss India 2015 second runner-up. Cricket World Cup 2015. Australia crushed New Zealand in final. Australia overwhelmed New Zealand to win the World Cup for a fifth time at an ecstatic Melbourne cricket ground. Aussies defeated the Kiwis by 7 wickets to complete the fiver. James Faulkner was adjudged the man of the match. Mitchell Starc was selected as the man of the tournament for his breathtaking performance in the tournament. Superb Saina scales historic World No.1 ranking. Saina Nehwal scripted history by becoming the first Indian woman shuttler to attain the #1 spot in world rankings, reaffirming her status as the country's most consistent performer in the international circuit. Official rankings will be out only on Thursday next week. Saina has been assured of her ascent to the top owing to the performances in the Indian Open,